Hi guys, my name is Miller and welcome back to a new video. Today we will launch the Best of British series by making a video on the first part out of 5, containing the beautiful McLaren Senna. So first I will discuss the setup of the event, followed up by more information on the event itself and the times to beat, and to close off what we can expect next, with my thoughts throughout the video basically. So the event started Wednesday already. I'm a little bit late, but that is because of the season video and me being extremely tired last night, so I had to push it to today. But the first part launched 3 days ago and it was named the British Prologue event. It's a short cup of only 15 races where you can win some quite decent prizes though. 150,000 cash, which is always useful, 5 rare fusion parts for the manufacturer you picked to lock in the event, a Vanquish, and a stage 6 part for the McLaren Senna. Why you did get the Vanquish will become clear later. The only requirement is that you have to use a car from a British manufacturer, so owning a car such as a new Bentayga for example can get you some nice decent rewards. I chose to run the McLaren F1 just because, but if I were you, I'd pick a car which you could use those 5 rare fusion parts for. I also have to say this event was a piece of cake, basically a good warm up to the main event. In case you don't have a British car, which I'd highly doubt, but yeah, it can happen, you can try your luck with a special 200 silver keys crate where you can only win 3-star and up British cars with increased odds for 5-star cars. I've heard many pull cars such as the P1 and the 600 LT, so I think it's worth a shot, and a nice crate to be fair. It's kinda like 10 gold keys, but I think 200 silver keys is easier to achieve, and also it has a higher 5-star rate, so it's kinda good. Summarized, the prologue is a fun warm-up for the main event, and it's not mandatory if you don't want to do it, though I'd highly doubt you wouldn't do it anyways. The main event is then completely different, but something we are used to since the Fast and the Furious series. It's a dual lock-in event consisting of 50 races, with a mix of sprint, speed trap and relay races. The total rewards here come down to 3,175,000 cash, which is a ton, so I'm happy with that. 320 gold coins, which is surprisingly low. Then we have 770 bronze keys, 100 silver keys and 10 gold keys, which is again decent. 24 uncommon, 9 rare and 6 epic fusion parts, which is decent again. And then we have a stage 6 part, which can be won on race 46 by beating a time of 9.0, which is doable with the Senna on just stage 5, with all fusion parts installed. Overall the rewards, with the exception of the gold, are quite decent. So the lock-in order now, and not much to choose from really. For the first lock-in you will have to use the Aston Martin Vanquish. If you don't have it, you can win it from the prologue event like mentioned earlier, or you can buy it for cash, or you can use the one you already had because it's not really a rare car. Because it's not so rare, I don't think it should be an issue at all. As for difficulty level for the Vanquish throughout the event, I think it was very doable, with the hardest time coming on race 46, which I'll show you guys now. Final time of 13.43. It is still a reasonable final time considering the record for the Aston stands on a 12.223. For reference, this is a tune I ran if you would be interested. Overall, I'm quite happy with the Vanquish being reasonable time-wise and rewarding you a sweet 800,000 cash if you lock it in the first slot and if you choose to not get the Senna for the second slot. Talking about the Senna, that is a car you will have to lock in the second slot. Surprise, right? However, this one cannot be won, but you will have to purchase it as a part of the Best of British collection. When going to the showroom and trying to buy it, again bundles will pop up. You see 3 here. I have seen people showing 4 bundles with the P1 GTR or something else, but because I have all the cars already, I only have to choose between these 3, and I think I will stick with the cheapest one again. Fusion parts are not really worth it in my opinion. If you want McLaren fusion parts, you might as well buy and strip McLaren 570Ss or stock them up pretty quickly because McLaren fusion parts do drop like candy. So I bought the car itself and it is beautiful. It's a car people anticipated for such a long time, and again it has been brought to the game tremendously well. Great execution on this one. The car just screams track monster and I like it. And talking about tracks, did you notice the track got a small update? It makes me feel like I'm in Britain already. There are some nice features on this car, like for example the massive wing, which is iconic by now, the see-through side doors and also a hidden latch on the front. But there is one more Easter egg with the car that you will have to go NAR for to try to find it. Won't say anything more on that. The Senna is capable of running a 7.16, making it slightly faster than the TSRS for example, but nicely in the pool with the GTX and the Zonda Revolution, meaning a nice opponent for online in the same range, so when a showdown comes up, a perfect match. On stage 5 this beauty is a beast, just like the Jesko, hitting an 8.5 when fully fused, making it again a very worthy car, even on low fusion parts and upgrades. But how does the event stack up for such a beast? Well, that one is a little bit less pleasing compared to the Jesko. The bar has been raised by quite a lot, to a point where 4 to 5 stage 6 parts will be required. So our first difficulty level jumps up at the speed trap, like usual, where you have to hit 481 km per hour on the quarter mile, which is doable depending on the stage 6 parts you have won up until that point. And after that you need to be able to run sub 8 seconds. When I started the final race, my car was rocking 4 stage 6 parts, combined with this tune. And then the race showed as extreme, but had the following final result. It was a loss for me, but close to the final time of a 7.797. This is quite a hard time to beat, I will be fully honest with that. Now I was running 4 stage 6 parts with 2 or 3 epics missing, so I think 4 to 5 is the minimum that you will need to beat the final time to get the nice extra 10 gold keys. This is perhaps a little bit too steep. A final time of 2 to 3 stage 6 parts is something I would have preferred to see, so that no crates have to be bought where people spend $5 to get a crate which might contain 4 green and 1 blue fusion part, which are all useless. I will be waiting out now till my next 3 stage 6 part to beat it, and I will still have some time left, if my calculations are correct. Now that is done, onto what will happen next. So this is the first part out of 5 events, and then we will have a finale. The other 2 already visible cars in game surrounding the best of British are the second part, which I'll discuss later, and the final prize being the McLaren Speedtail. This one will be rewarded hopefully through a ladder race system where you will need all the other 5 cars, I presume. Kind of like the Ferrari and the Porsche anniversaries we've had in the past. But what are the other 4 cars, you might ask, and how will the events run? Well, the 4 cars will be the Noble M600 Carbon Sport, which is already in game and will be the next part. I expect this to happen in season 90, so in 4 to 5 weeks time. Then we have the other 3 cars being hidden under the Union Jack. Car covers being the Ginetta Aquila, a shark-inspired supercar, the Ultima RS, which is a 1200 brake horsepower track beast, which I expect to be quite a spicy car, and also tier 4, the TVR Sagaris, which will look dope with a special dual exhaust and a pretty fast tier 4 car for sure. On how the events will go down, well, pretty simple I think. It will be equal to what we have now, a dual lock-in where the first car can be won through a prologue cup using other British cars. Someone has already been able to figure out the cars we will need for the coming events, and these are the following. The Jaguar F-Type R, the tier 4 one, the Exige Sport 350 Roadster, the old Bentley Continental GT, and the BAC Mono. All quite common cars, which we all have with the exception of the Mono perhaps. So that makes it 4 events, which in theory should be doable, right? Easy to get car for the first slot and pay for the other. But if the difficulty for all the events for the upcoming cars is the same as the one we have now, I'm afraid I will not be able to complete the races. Now a 7.7 with the Senna is more doable because fusion parts are common. But for the Noble, Ginetta, Ultima and TVR we have 4 new manufacturers. So if they expect full fusion plus 4 stage 6 parts each, we're gonna have some bad time. Let's hope that is definitely taken into consideration. And then for the finale, if it's like the last Fast and the Furious event for the Supra, I think we will have some serious trouble with winning the Speedtail, as it will become the hardest event in history of CSR, I think. Basically 4 flash events in a row. I just hope they did learn their lesson and made it at least slightly doable. Ironic thing I noticed, however, the names Ginetta, Aquila, Ultima RS and Sagaris are all names which don't sound British whatsoever. Anyways, I will wrap it up here, so this is what we can expect from this cup and what we can expect in the future. I really hope they won't make future events this hard, because new manufacturers, it will be quite a pain. The new track is an upgrade, hope other people will like it too, really feeling the autumn vibes. Overall I can see I'm 50-50 on this event. I like the build up, but again quite a hard difficulty level, kind of killing it a little bit. But a very decent car on stage 5 as well, which again is an up. I will close off here for real. If you enjoyed the video, don't hesitate to leave a like, subscribe for more content like this. My name is Mille, keep racing, and cheerio!